backs against the wall. It seems impossible, but there's nobody else I want by my side to stand in with me, to take this fight through the rise and fall. With our fearless hearts, we could beat the odds, and we could live for 1,000 years. We could be legends. If we all go down, if our time is now, we could let everyone know we were here. We could be legends.
We can live forever.
We dream so colorful.
What's up guys, JNO here and welcome to the first in the Fantasy Football Fantasy Premier League series.
Our backs against the wall. It seems impossible, but there's nobody else I want by my side to stand in with me, to take this fight through the rise and fall. With our fearless hearts, we could beat the odds, and we could live for 1,000 years. We could be legends. If we all go down, if our time is now, we could let everyone know we were here. We could be legends.
We can live forever.
What's up guys, how's everyone doing? Thank you Ayush for being present to kick out the haters. Much appreciated, my man. Hopefully the volume's all good. It sounds like it is. You can probably hear my iPad in the background as well. I've just got my iPad on so I can hear myself. So I know I don't have that situation where I did before, where I just was talking and no one could hear me. And I love the sound of my voice, so I want you all to hear me. Yeah, so live stream is all good. So how's everyone doing in the chat? I see Daraj and Ayush Falur. Of course you two are here. That's how good a supporter you guys are. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some of the transfers from transfer deadline day. And we are going to use my wildcard because I've not been doing too well. If we actually have a look at how I've been doing, I'm already on the transfer screen. But if we go to my team, I'm on 157 points. I've got 33 points in the last game week, and I'm at 1.2 million ranked, which is pretty damn awful. What's up, Marshall Gully? How you doing? Yeah, so I need to do something about this team. So if we have a look at the team, you can see that I've got if we can make it a bit bigger for you guys. And then 1 second while I just try and make sure you can see as much as possible. Alright, so the team at the moment as it stands, if we are to make some changes, we have Foster and Myhill in goal. I don't know exactly if I'm going to change that. Ben Elliott, not Ben Elliott, is it Ben Elliott? Rob Elliott, that's the one. He's going to likely come in for Myhill because he's playing. What's up, MJ Films? Dylan C. Do I think Oxlade will start for Liverpool? It's a risk because you've got a lot of rotation there in the Liverpool side, so I wouldn't put him in yet. Elliot Worthington here from Twitter. What's up, Elliot? Jackson Yates is here. My guy, Jackson. So, keeper-wise, Rob Elliott may come in. I'm going to get distracted by the chat. You know what I'm like. I'll keep looking at the chat and I'll keep talking to you guys. This defence needs some work. I think Davies and Bertrand might stay. Danilo seems a bit too risky of a pick. Mbemba might stay for now. Then we've got the midfield. De Bruyne needs to go. I've lost 0.1 million on him already. Pogba, wish I'd picked Mkhitaryan for last week. Willian, Ward-Prowse, Lukaku, Kane and Gabbiadini. So let's get to playing the wild card. Feel free to leave in the chat anyone you think I should get in. Manish Fappa thinks I should get Mane, Mkhitaryan and Ali for the wild card. Jeff Holt is here with the missus, Maria. Maria. Thank you for joining, guys. Thoughts on Morata? I'm not jumping on that yet, but Morata definitely looks good. Do you think Renato is a good option? If you're talking about Sanchez, who's just moved to Swansea, if you didn't know, I'm not sure. He might take Tom Carroll's place, which is a bit worrying. Ayush Fuller still hoping Lamar will go to Liverpool. We'll see about that. Ben Davies plays on the left and Aurier usually plays on the right. So I think Aurier's more competition for Trippier myself. Click auto pick. Do I want to click auto pick? Can I even do that now I've got a team? Yeah, you can't click auto pick once you've got a team selected. So anyway, who am I definitely getting rid of? I mean, I could get Cedric now that I'm sure he's playing, and that would save me 0.5. So I think I will do that. We'll get rid of Danilo. Mariappa can definitely go. Tom Carroll's likely to stay there for now. De Bruyne, off you go, mate. I'm fed up with you. We got Pogba. I'm not sure if I want Pogba or Mickey. We'll leave you there for now. Willian, you can go. Ward-Prowse can go. Gabbiadini may stay just for the fixtures, but Hernandez looks like a much better option from the underlying stats. My squad value is... Where is it? I know there's somewhere it says squad value. That would involve getting rid of my team squad value. Where is it? I don't know where my squad value is. I usually know. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked by the comments as usual. So, Bertrand out, Danilo, Mariappa, Ward-Prowse, Willian, De Bruyne. Alright, so what do we need to do? We need to look... I'm going to make it a little bit smaller because you guys can't see the players I've got on the side there. Get to see some of the behind the scenes stuff. That should... Oh, there we go. That should do. Alright, so we're going to go defenders first of all. And hopefully this will show you kind of insight into how I do things, how I think about stuff. The fact that I'm a bit late on the Hegazi bandwagon is a bit annoying. It's now 4.8 million. But we want Cedric. Where's Cedric? The reason I'm not looking at any central Southampton defenders is because Wesley Hoyt, I think that's how you say his name, has come in. So I think Cedric and Bertrand are the nailed-on options in that side. I mean, Hegartzi coming in for Danilo is still a cheaper option. Jones looks nailed on though as well, but that restricts me further up the field. Blind, I like Blind, but I'm just worried he might get rotated out. Gomez actually has some decent underlying stats, but too much of a rotation risk. I do like the idea of Norton. The fixtures, I believe, are getting better for Swansea. I mean, apart from Arsenal and Spurs, Norton looks like he could be worthy of a spot. And then I'll leave Mariappa for now. But I should have saved a bit of money there on those two. Alright, I will get back to the chat, guys. Don't worry about that. But we're going to go on to midfielders. And I'm pretty certain what midfielders I want. There's possibly 3 midfielders that I think are really worth having. And I might go against the grain where a lot of people are looking at these 4 are the main 4 right now, right? Now, as far as I can see from the stats that I've read, Mane, Pogba and Salah are dominating as far as attempts on goal go. So, Mane in for De Bruyne saves me 0.3. But then I'm spending a bit extra to get Salah in. Do I want 2 Liverpool players? I mean, really, with Liverpool, fixtures don't mean anything. Because, I mean, we all saw how they beat Arsenal. But Man United still have good fixtures. The next 4 is pretty favourable. Do I want Mkhitaryan or Pogba? I'm going to stick with my guns. It hurt me in Game Week 3, but I'm going to keep Pogba. I'm going to double up on Liverpool. Which severely restricts the money spent on these 2. So we need a cheapish midfielder for Ward-Prowse. Redmond's £1 million more, so we'd still need a £4 million defender. I mean, Davis is playing, but how long is that going to stay the way it is? There is the Watford man, Richarlison, who seems to be getting a lot of shots on goal for 0.6 more. What are the fixtures like for Watford? I mean, not amazing, but they're not bad. And then I also like the look of Mr. Robbie Brady, 5.5. You know what, we'll go with Robbie Brady. I don't think the fixtures are too bad for Burnley. They're a mixed bag, a very mixed bag. But that gives me 4.5 to spend on Mariappa. So if we go back to defenders, do I really want 2 Burnley players? Because I know Me is a very popular option. But he is 4.5. Because I think Swansea and Burnley rotate, sort of. So easy, hard, easy. Easy, hard, oh no, they don't really rotate at all. I don't know what I'm talking about. So they're not an ideal solution because they don't rotate with each other. The midfielders and the defenders. So that is something I'll probably have to look at off stream at some point. Could go Huddersfield. What are Huddersfield's fixtures looking like? Not too bad for the next 3. Kieran Clark, he did alright, didn't he? If Gomez would stay in the Liverpool defence, I might risk him. Yeah, I'm not prepared well enough for this one left spot. Tell you what, he's going there for now, but that could very well change. And then as far as forwards go, I mean, I could go with Mooney and try and save some money. Rashford, if he could just stay on the pitch, would be a great shout at 7.5. But then Chikorito's 0.1 more than Gabbiadini. God damn it. So I'd need to save 0.1 of a million to get him in. Who else have we got? Calvert-Lewin has looked really good. For 5 million, it looks like he's... Oh, he only played 28 minutes against Chelsea. What happened there? I didn't see that game, so I may have missed some vital information there. Wilfred Bonney is apparently going to Swansea, so Abraham isn't really an option. So you know what? I think I'm going to keep it for now the way it is. So my current team... And this will probably change before Game Week 4, so don't assume this is nailed on. We got Ben Foster and Myhill still in goal. Probably change that to Elliott. In fact, I might change that now because Myhill won't go up in price, but Elliott might. Because everyone's noticed he's playing. Okay, so we've brought in Cedric for Ryan Bertrand. We brought in Norton and Schindler for Danilo and Mariappa. We've got Salah, Pogba, Mane, Brady and Carroll. Not sure about Carroll with Renato Sanchez coming in. Lukaku, Kane, Gabbiadini. Now, I'm sticking with Kane. I don't think I can get rid of Lukaku as he's scored 2 out of 3 games. Gabbiadini I've looked to change, but I just don't know who to yet. I am considering Ericsson and Mkhitaryan. There's no Arsenal coverage in there at all, but I don't feel confident in that Arsenal side at the moment. So yeah. Alright, so tell me what you guys think in the comments, and we'll keep that up there. And we'll get to the questions. And I've probably missed a ton of them. Alright, so where was I? Firmino is definitely a good shout as a Liverpool attacker. Couple for Firmino. Mourinho, Lampard, Hazard is getting Lukaku out for Morata and Firmino. To be honest, if you can balance it, I just feel like Lukaku and Kane will be the 2 top scorers in the league. That's just my assumption, but Kane is on thin ice, don't get me wrong. He needs to score soon in September. I did look at Richarlison. I definitely would like to get him into my side, if I can figure out how. Gabby or Abraham. I like the look of Abraham, but with Boney coming in, I'm a bit worried about it. Pogba does play the full 90 minutes, but just Mkhitaryan just looks so good. You are right, your boy. Hernandez is good, but West Ham are really bad. And we also look like we're doing quite bad in the transfer window because we were meant to get Carvalho. We were going for Andre Gomez from Barcelona, and we seem to have failed from both. Southampton attack has been disappointing. I am tempted to get rid of Gabbiadini and just have a Southampton defender. What's up, Rohan Sharma? How you doing, my man? Scroll down, there's a squad value. You'd think I'd know all this with me playing this game for so long. Anyway. Make transfers. Play wildcard. Confirm transfers and play wildcard. There we go. So how does that actually make my team look if we... There we go, team value. My squad value is rubbish. 100.1. Probably because I've sat on players hoping their fate would turn around. That is probably the lowest my team value has ever been after 2 game weeks. Rohan Sharma, if you've done well in the first 3 game weeks, I'd maybe hold your wildcard to the next international break. To be honest, I'd drop Lukaku instead of Kane if I was going Morata, Firmino and Lukaku. Rated Mega, it depends what your ranking is. I usually play my wildcard early though. Lukaku, Pogba, Mickey triple up definitely wouldn't be a bad idea. Nick Moy. The reason I'm sticking with Gabbiadini is the fixtures, and probably I shouldn't. A little bit of me waiting on Kevin De Bruyne was me hoping he'd do well against Burnley. Was it Burnley I think they were playing? So yeah, that was a mess up. So maybe I should change him out. I personally think, Rated Mega, that all Liverpool players are a bit of a risk and rotation option. Risk of rotation. But I think just sometimes just stick with it. Part of me is thinking Eriksen, purely because the likelihood of Eriksen being dropped is very, very small. Mickey and Pogba both. I'll tell you why in the Charge B, I think that's how you say your name, that I've not gone Mickey and Pogba. It's because I'm very conscious of one person on YouTube that does FPL. And if you go too similar to him, you immediately get accused of just ripping off FPL tips. So I'll put that right out there now. So I'd rather not just go down the same route. All of his choices are, of course, made in logic. But one, I want to beat him. And to beat him, I can't have the same players anyway. And 2, you will get accused straight away, even if you had the very same thought yourself originally of copying FPL tips, if you do something similar to him. Jack Cork in midfield, that's a possibility. Moy's a good shout. Aaron Moy, well done, Marshall Gully. That's a nice shout there. Has he gone up though? He's Huddersfield, right? 5.7 now. But he's definitely an option. Atsu, I'm not going. Just because they won against West Ham doesn't mean they're good, Newcastle. So I wouldn't go near Atsu. Ayush Falur's girlfriend changed allegiance from Arsenal when Liverpool hammered them. Burnley and Bournemouth rotate. There we go. I don't want a Bournemouth defender though. I really don't want a Bournemouth defender. Don't trust them at the moment. Low at 4.5 is recommended by Rated Mega. Yeah, Daraj. I only captained him the once, but yeah, Kane has hurt me too. I think Kane will definitely score in September. He better. Or just get injured so I can transfer you out and not worry about you anymore. J-Rod, he hasn't converted as much as I'd like. He's definitely had the underlying stats, J. Rodriguez, but he doesn't seem to have converted that much. Shaz B jumping in the stream. We started about 23 minutes ago, roughly. No City and Chelsea players. No. And I'll tell you why. City, the only player that I feel is nailed on and performing is David Silva, and he's got a record of falling off. In fact, if I'd actually thought about it, he always seems to start the season off quite well. There's no one there that I feel is rotation risk free and will get me points. Chelsea, I don't know what the makeup of that team is until Hazard comes back, and Eden Hazard may be the best option. I can't bring myself to spend 7 million on Alonso, so that's why no City and Chelsea. A lot of people not happy with no Chelsea coverage. What do I think about Pedro? I don't know, because Pedro's at risk when Hazard comes back, I think, of rotation. That's why he's not there. I'm not Jamie Acton. Renato Sanchez, I think, will do really well, but I never bring a player in without having seen him play for the club. That's just a rule I have. And I remember Pedro last year, I think it was last year, came in and did really well. And everyone brought him in after one game where he did well, and then he didn't do much for a while. So, not really going to jump on a bandwagon early. The reason I'm not too keen on Ali and Eriksen for Kane is because if I use 2 Spurs spots for midfield, then I feel like I'm missing out on the 4 biggest scoring midfielders in the game at the moment. And to be honest, Eriksen's the one I'd prefer over Ali at the moment. Eriksen may very well come in for Mane, because I think that makes my team feel more balanced, actually. But then Salah is my game time risk. Whereas if I have Mane and Salah, I know one of them will play, hopefully. But Spurs haven't impressed me as much as Man U and Liverpool. What's the best time to play wildcard? Strictly speaking, best time to play wildcard, the first one, is right when the deadline passes before an international break. But I wanted to play it in front of you guys, so I am sacrificing myself a little bit for YouTube entertainment. Firmino, Morata and Lukaku. I'd definitely say Firmino and Lukaku are. I still haven't seen enough of Morata. What about Rooney? I think Rooney's form will drop off. I'd love it to continue, but I don't think Rooney will continue scoring the way he has. What about Sell Kane? No, we've already done that one. Mickey, Pogba, Lukaku, triple up, cross your mind. Yes, it has. Mickey, Pogba and Lukaku have all looked really good. In fact, I'd consider dropping Lukaku if there was another striker option that I was very confident in, and then just going Pogba and Mkhitaryan. Who should you pick out of Eriksen and Mane? I mean, I've picked Mane because I think he's more explosive, but Eriksen is more likely to definitely play and is very, very consistent. Everyone wants me to sell Kane. I don't think I can do it just yet. When I see what Chelsea play like with Hazard back, that is when I'll make my decision on Chelsea players. Renato Sanchez is way better than Carroll, easily. I'm not denying that. But I don't know where they're going to play Renato Sanchez. Renato Sanchez is that type of player that can play anywhere. And, well, not anywhere, but anywhere in midfield. And someone like Renato Sanchez might have to play. And I want a midfielder that I can bench without worrying too much, if that makes any sense. Because no one likes to see points on their bench. Huzafu Sadrala. No Alonso. Surely has to be in your wildcard team. Okay, well, I've had lots of arguments about Alonso. If Alonso can score 200 points-ish in a season, then I'd consider him worthy of a spot for 7 million in my team. But if you look, last season, both Cahill and Azpilicueta both scored very similar points to Alonso, and they cost less. And I just feel like there will be someone that scores close enough to Alonso's points total that 7 million is too much to spend. Especially if you have an 8 million midfielder that will score 30 points more, 40 points more. If I seriously believe Alonso will outscore a 6.5 or 6 million pound defender by a significant amount, then I will get him in. What about sell Kane and get Ali and Ericsson both? We've discussed that already, I believe. My thoughts on Brady is he's always been someone that can create chances for his teammates. Now, it's whether the Burnley players around him can put them away. Ideally, I want that player, though, to be the next Joshua King or someone like that. And I don't think Brady will be that, but he could be a decent, like, person to fill that hole until I can figure out who that player is. Ben Church says be careful with Norton, because I don't know what that player name is, but it could be coming in. Billet should go already, to be honest, Ayush. Look, now I've played my wild card. If someone else comes in, I can always change Norton out, so that's not a bother. I've got a week and a bit to change this up. We'll see, but I think Kane will score in September. It's no longer August, so that's why Kane is still there. After game week 3, I have a dismal 157 points, which pains me, to be fair. How much do I think Kane's price will drop? I think a lot of experienced players are going to hold on to him, so I don't think it will drop that much. Mkhitaryan for Pogba. I get why you're saying that, and a part of me agrees with you, because I think Mkhitaryan is going to be the better player this year, but I think Pogba's more nailed on. A triple up on Lukaku, Pogba and Mickey is not a bad idea with the current form, but if they suddenly drop off, you're leaving yourself at risk of losing points. I can't argue with you, Bilal. Gabbiadini has been pretty poor. I've just been saying about, is that Azpilicueta you meant to type in there? Jun Yong Lo. And I played my wildcard game week 3 last season and it worked out for me. I personally believe 3 game weeks in you can make a very informed decision about your team. No, Jack Nash, you won't get your 2 free transfers back if you play your wildcard. Rohan Sharma, it's not the best start, but it's not the worst start. Like, you've got to understand, the thing is, I need to try and aim to be in the top 10k to keep improving myself as an FPL player. So 1.2 million is not good, but in the grand scheme of things, you're still in the top 50% of players easily. So you're not doing too bad. Davies might be rotated with Rose. Why is it that? Because I believe Rose has still got a knock, and he's come out in the press and not been very nice about Spurs recently. Yeah, see, Rose is expected. Oh, he might be back for that game week, but I doubt he'll be back that quickly. And Ben Davies has looked good. His underlying stats have been very impressive. Beating FPL Tips. He's been doing it a lot longer than I have, and FPL Tips knows what he's doing. Lots of people are telling me it's not a good time to play my wild card, but I'm confident in playing it now. And to be honest, this team you see in front of you will probably be very different by the time Game Week 4 deadline actually hits. Oh, lots of love for Alonso. Don't get me wrong, Alonso last year was one of my best players. But at the price he's at, I seriously don't think he's going to be worth 7 million. Best possible change for Willian. That's hard because that price bracket, no one's really stood out for me yet. You see, the thing is, football analysis, FPL tips will still have a really good finish, because last year I was beating him for about 30 game weeks, and then he overtook me and stayed ahead. So, Maria, did you subscribe? Because I didn't see you pop up on the screen if you did. But thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you very much, Maud Gulfoy. Why are you timing people out for no reason? Are people being timed out? If people are being timed out, that might be my connection. I don't know what it is. What's up, Fantasy Premier League? Or Fantasy Premier League? What's going on? What is Ismail up to then? I'm so far behind the chat, I don't know what's going on. Dera Adair, if you think you need to play your wild card, it's worth playing it. That's my personal opinion. Ben Church, if you plan to play your wild card and you're not over the moon with your rank, I would play it. Pogba over Mickey, because I think he'll play all 90 minutes. Because I think if we look at Pogba, he's not been substituted once. Whereas I think if we have a look at Mkhitaryan, he's never played the full 90 minutes. Now, strictly speaking, if he keeps playing over 60 minutes, I don't think he misses out on much. Like, it's a point or two. So, I'm not by any means saying Pogba's better than Mkhitaryan, just Pogba's more nailed on, whereas I think Mkhitaryan could be rested. Daruv Narala. Salah isn't a game time risk who's benched because of USL qualifiers, Champions League qualifiers. Well, that's my point, because when the Champions League starts, he could be rested in the Premier League for the Champions League games. So that is why Salah is a game time risk in my mind. Dylan C, I hope you're right. Listen, August is over, came for the hat-trick. Really hope that happens. Kenyan YouTube trends, Pogba over Mkhitaryan, you're a brave man. Lots of people want me to go for Mickey. How many players have I changed? I think I've changed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 so far, but it could go up. No, I'm well aware that Alonso missed 5 game weeks. I still don't think he's going to score enough to be worth 7 million. But that's the beauty of FPL. I don't think it's going to happen. If you go and get him because you do think it happens, and it happens, you're going to be laughing at me at the end of the season, which I welcome. So don't worry about that. But it's all about using your judgment and looking at it and thinking, do I think this will happen? Do I think it won't happen? And you're either right or you're wrong. I could be wrong. I've never said I'm the genius that will get every single decision right. What I try and do is give you as much information and then my opinion. And then you guys do with that what you want. There were plenty of people that beat me last year that watched my channel. You just have to look at my league. I think I was 50th or something around that mark. So 49 subscribers beat me in my own league. So I'm not the best player ever. I just... Oh, Nick Moai has just joined the FPL Today family. Thank you very much. But yeah, the whole point of my channel is to help you do even better with some stats that you may not have access to yourself. And to help you think about things. So I'm not... This could be potentially my worst season ever. I don't know that yet. But I've got to make my calls where I'm making them. And then we'll see how it goes when the dust settles and the season finishes. Put some background music on, some foreplay is nice. Actually, you can leave that in the comments. Would you guys like background music? Because I can do that. Just... One, I need to figure out how to do it. So, potentially I could have a playlist playing in the background. But two... I don't want you guys to like not be able to hear me, because I know on certain devices the volume changes. Some people have said they can't hear me with no music playing. What role will Keita play for Liverpool? I wouldn't worry about it yet, because I think he's joining next season. Popper and Mickey together is not a bad shout. The Chrissy 95 at 5 to 5.5 million. Renato Sanchez is probably going to be a steal, but there's always that little bit of doubt, and he won't go up in price until he's played. So I can watch him play in a game and figure out if I think he's worth it before bringing him in, which is what I'll do. Kevin Corinne, I actually think you're right there, mate, if I'm honest with you. I personally think, because my balance of team, I'd much prefer another good midfielder somewhere. And if I got rid of Gabbiadini and say brought in someone, let's look at 6.5 and lower, like Mooney. I mean, Mooney's the standout option there, isn't he? Because you know he's going to lead the line for Huddersfield. So if I did bring in Mooney, that would allow me to spend more on the midfield. So if we got rid of Brady, we could put in Willian. No, we can't. That's how good my maths is, people. Hesse looked really good for one game, and it would give me some Stoke coverage. But yeah, that's definitely an option. I'm not saying no to it, because 7 million is more than I usually spend on my third striker. If Kane blanks next game week, is it time to pull the trigger? Who knows? Like, literally, you could pull the trigger and then the next game week, he scores a hat-trick. That's the problem with him. Chicharito, I definitely like the look of. He's just a little bit too expensive for me unless I save money somewhere. Sanchez going to Swansea is a great deal for Swansea. Trippier looks like a game time risk of Dejvit, because Aurier's going to Spurs. FPL Tips has a consistent record, a lot longer than mine, and I've never beaten him, so I'd like to think that makes him good. If Coutinho stays, I'm a little bit worried about the lineup of that Liverpool team. In fact, you know what? That question has inspired me to triple up on Man United, and that gives me 1.3 million to save. Because if Coutinho stays, him playing could affect the way that lineup, that Liverpool side lines up. So I'm now worried about Salah now. Thanks a lot. Who asked that question? Because You've really made me consider the whole... Shaz B, great question. Because with Coutinho playing, whose spot is Coutinho taking? I imagine it's going to be someone deeper when they're playing big games. When they want their strongest side, I think Firmino, Salah, Mane and Coutinho will all play. But with another option in midfield and with Oxlade-Chamberlain, I don't know what the rotation is going to be. Sorak Space, fellow depressed hammer. We're all depressed at the moment, mate. Mkhitaryan and Pogba will be enough to cover for no Lukaku. I don't like spending a lot on goalkeepers, so I'd get Elliott over Edison, but that's just the way I play. The Chrissy 95, stop trying to convince me to get Sanchez. I don't like bringing in a player that's new to the league. You're trying to make me break my own rules here. No Man United defender, not if I've got 3 Man United players already. I mean, I could drop Lukaku. Ah, I'm glad you remember me from back in the day. You guys need to keep me humble. When I get really big on YouTube, you guys need to remember me how rubbish I used to be. Fab stats, alright. So let me have a look at Fabregas's stats. So the reason I'm not looking at Fabregas is because I like to pick players that I feel like are going to score or assist, because that's how you get points. If I look at goal threat midfielders, for attempts, Fabregas is nowhere near the top 10. Oxlade-Chamberlain beats him for attempts. Mahrez beats him for attempts. Redmond and Richarlison beat him for attempts on goal. Fabregas has had less attempts on goal. Can't even find Fabregas. Than Bakayoko, than Pedro, than Kante, than Willian. So he's not had the most attempts on goal out of the Chelsea players. Shots inside the box, he's still had less than Willian, Pedro, Conte, and then it's Fabregas. So Fabregas beats Bakayoko for that regard. As far as shots on target goes, Fabregas is actually top for that, but it's only with 2. Which just means the rest of the Chelsea players have been really bad with their conversion. Now if we go to distribution, this is where we want Fabregas to be destroying the others because his goal threat is so bad. Chances created, Willian has created the most chances with 9. Fabregas has created 8, so it's only 1 less, but Willian has more of a goal threat. And then who's just after that? So Fabregas is easily the most creative with Willian. Big chances created. Willian has created 1 big chance, and if I can find Fabregas, Fabregas hasn't created a big chance yet. So the quality of Willian's chances created is better. And minutes per chance created, he does come top, which means his game time has been a little less, most likely, considering Willian's created more chances but has a lower minutes per chance created or a higher minutes per chance created. So yeah, he's only played 2 games to Willian's 3, so he doesn't seem nailed on either. So that is why I'm not considering Fabregas. So I hope that has been a decent insight to why Fabregas hasn't crossed my mind. The 4 is a decent pick. His quality of balls is good. But again, I think And you know me, I love my stats. I think if I go to chances created, I think Rob Brady jumps up before Defoe. Yeah, Rob Brady has created 10 chances. Defoe has created 4. Big chances created. Brady has created 2. While Defoe has created, if I can find him, Hendricks has created more apparently. Defoe hasn't created any big chances. And then goal threat wise, I believe Brady's better at goal threat as well. But that might just be me assuming. Brady has had 7 attempts on goal to Defoe's, if I can find him. I might have missed him. Okay, Defoe has had 1 attempt on goal, which is below Jack Cork, which is below Arfield, which is below Goodmunson, and I believe there was another player there somewhere as well. So that is why Brady over Defoe for me. What do I think about Ox's move to Liverpool? Not too fussed, to be honest. I think the attraction of Oxlade-Chamberlain was his wing-back role, and now he's not got that, because I don't think Liverpool play that style. Drew Narala thinks I should get rid of Davis, Mane, Kane and Gabbiadini for Morata, Firmino, Ali and Daniels. I don't think Daniels will do better than Ben Davies for definite. I think Kane will score more goals than Morata. Firmino will score more than Gabbiadini. Mane, Ali is a toss-up, to be fair. Alright, next stream I will definitely get the jams on, I promise. Oh wait, no, Thomas McCarthy doesn't want background music. I'll have to do a poll or something at some point. I do think Sanchez may affect Tom Carroll's game time. Tammy Abraham's always someone I considered, and then you can easily build around players like him. MN Conde, Lukaku's that type of player where he looks rubbish and then does really well. Like, to be honest, he can have really crap underlying stats as long as he keeps scoring. One game week isn't going to make me get rid of a player. If I remove Lukaku, who would I pick? Probably a Man City player. I don't think Willian's nailed on by any chance. I'm sorry if I'm being very quick, but I'm trying to catch up with the chat. I think if Mahrez joins, that Chelsea attack could look very good. Very, very good. Because Mahrez has impressed me this season with how he's played, despite the fact he wants to move. By the way, before I carry on, at 9 o'clock tonight, Kurt Yoy is going to be live streaming with his transfer deadline day live stream. I will be in the chat on that. If he wants me in the call, I'll join a call with him. It's up to him, of course. But definitely go check out Kurt Yoy's channel. He will be streaming later tonight with the lead up to the end of the transfer deadline. And if you want to support the channel in any way, feel free to do a super chat. Your question will get answered straight away if you do a super chat. And it's just a way you can support the live streams and stuff like that. But we'll carry on with the questions. Lukaku to Jesus, and then upgrade Carroll. Could do, but look, it depends what formation you're playing, because you can't play 5 midfielders and 3 strikers, so someone's going to sit on the bench. Do you want someone sitting on the bench that is going to score loads of points? That is my wildcard team for now, Darragh Smith, but it's definitely not nailed on. Can't see subs. I don't think I really touch my subs. There's my subs. Brady, Mbemba, Schindler. If we go to transfers, and we'll make it a little bit smaller again. Just for those that are new around here, so they can see everything. There you go. Calvert-Lewin is still a game time risk, I think, because if you look at it, he didn't play the whole game when they needed to be a bit defensive. What's up, Craig Manuel? Phil Jones is definitely in consideration. Almost put him in right now, earlier. Any opinion on Everton? As soon as Everton's fixtures get better, I'm bringing in some Everton players because they've looked good. Ericsson would be the one I'd go for, Ben, and that could still happen. I use a site called Fantasy Football Scout. It is a paid-for membership group, though. I think Rose could bench Ben Davies, but the thing is, I don't think it will be next game week, so I can always transfer him out if that's the case. Tom Bradbury, you've got a point. I just still feel like you can't drop Lukaku just because he had one bad game. I mean, I've stuck with Kane for 3 game weeks, so I feel pretty bad if I dropped Lukaku for 1 bad game week. Harish Rahman, if you want to just have a decent score, then go template. But if you want to really break the top players, you need to pick a few wild choices. I guess that's how you could say it. Almost caught up with the chat, which is good because I have to go soon to actually feed my stomach because I'm starving. I've literally live streamed straight from when I got back from work. It's true, Cubeway, they are from only 3 game weeks, but I think Rob Brady's never been awful, in my mind. And yeah, Renato Sanchez will probably be better, and I will bring him in if he is. But right now I have no stats to consider Renato Sanchez, and he could be very defensive-minded. I don't know how he's going to play at Swansea. Why doesn't Harry Kane score in August? Because he wanted to prove me wrong in front of the world that watch my YouTube channel. On Arnautovic, I wouldn't touch a West Ham player unless it's Javier Hernandez at the moment. Oh, well, Binnick Fapper, you're a nice guy, aren't you? Bring Hazard in, you fat-ass motherfucker Muji. Well, mate, if the only thing you've got to do with your time is come into a stream and talk like that, I feel sorry for you. Is it time to ship out Willian? I definitely think it's time to ship out Willian. Wimmer, I can't believe Wimmer's joined Stoke for that much money. Stoke have looked decent defensively though, so it could be worth a shout. But I personally think Jack Butland would be a better option because he could get quite a few save points. Jordan Ayew, I've suggested Jordan Ayew before and got hate for it, but I think Jordan Ayew looks really good. Atsu and Salah or Hesse and Silva. I'd go Salah and Atsu because I don't know enough about Hesse, and David Silva never really keeps up that consistency in points. He's always a great player. People still want me to get rid of Kane. Get Jones in for Cedric because Man United are playing very low scoring sides. That's a good point, but I believe Jones is more expensive than Cedric. I wouldn't bring in Rose for Davies. And I'm not 100% sure Rose will walk straight back into that side. Because 1, he's got to get match fit. 2, he's not in favour anymore because of what he said in the press. And 3, Ben Davies has been playing really well. Triple Man United is risky. To be honest, Pogba's probably going to go. But like I said, I need to weigh up the options, but also look at it and think, where are the points coming from? Because if I'd picked this side to begin with, I'll be doing a lot better than I currently am. I think if both play, Salah will be better than Mane. As in, because he's cheaper. Jeff, you're not leading Kurtz yet, so you haven't got the trifecta. Ericsson over Ali for me, mate. If you remove Kane and get Ali or Ericsson, who would you put up front? I really don't know. That's my problem, because I don't see what striker is going to be better than those two. I mean, probably Firmino, because at least I'm aware of what he could do. Vardy and Rooney have records in the Premier League before. I mean, don't get me wrong, Morata's done really well at the start of the season, but would I risk a whole season on him? Okay, we're going to just finish off the last questions here. So, Gito George is going to be the last question, because I've got to go feed myself. What about Atsu and Salah, or Richarlison and David Silva Pogba? Richarlison and Pogba could be a decent shout. Replace Willian with... I mean, Pedro costs more, doesn't he? So, I really don't know who to replace Willian with. There's no one that stands out for me in that price bracket. You have a good point, they are getting assists, but I'd rather drop Lukaku because I think Kane's about to score a hat load. And anyway, Matt Phillips, I'll end on that. Matt Phillips, I don't like him because he's a West Brom attacking player and West Brom don't do attacking. Oh, if Kane gets injured, I'm sure I will just look at the team with the best fixtures out of like Arsenal, Liverpool and Chelsea and go with that striker. Anyway, guys, I'm going to call the stream there. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I don't know if we did hit it, but I noticed we were very close to 100 people watching, which I believe is a high for my streams. So thank you guys so much for joining in. I will probably do a few more live streams with me looking at this side with some international games to help me make my decision as well. This side could be so different in a couple of days, so I will definitely try and keep you updated with my wildcard team. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, if you want to support the channel, there are plenty of links in the description down below in ways you can support the channel. Also, if you haven't already and you've been watching, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button when this video goes live on YouTube so people can rewatch it and see what I did with my wildcard. Thank you guys so much for all your opinions. I apologise if I haven't agreed with them, but that's the beauty of FPL. That's how the game is played. Anyway, guys, I've been JNO. This has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game.